Did someone order cheesecake? Hey, cousins, as a thank you to this amazing cooking family we're growing on my platform, and we just hit 1,000 cousins in the kitchen. I'm going to be doing a Southern Sweet series to showcase some Southern decadent desserts guaranteed to please. So come on while we come make a classic cheesecake. So we're gonna get a pack and a half of graham crackers, and we're gonna take them, add them to the Ninja blender. Yes, we're gonna add them in. You ain't gotta be fancy with it. Just make sure you get a pack and a half in there. And it's always that one cracker that don't want to come out. All right, so then you get your top on. Get your top. Get the doggone. All right, get the top on. Yeah, all right, Ninja, we got to work on that. And then you just want to pulse your graham crackers down. You just want to make sure you're going to finely ground them, and you don't want any big piece of graham crackers. And once you get them grounded down, add them to a medium bowl. Add in a half of a cup of sugar, because you got about 2 cups of graham crackers and half a cup of sugar. And then you're going to get 1 stick of melted unsalted butter, and you're going to add that to your bowl. And you take your spatula and you just fold that in. And once you got a wet sandy material, you should be good. And as long as nothing is really dry, you want to make sure that butter is really well mixed in. Then you're going to take your spring pan, spray it down with some non-stick spray, and I'm using Baker's Joy today. And then once I get it sprayed down well, one more thing you need is the parchment paper to lay at the bottom, and to make sure it helps you cut the cheesecake at the end. So then you fold all of your pie crust into the pan, and then I just take a spatula to really spread it out and shake it out at the bottom of that pan, so that we're making sure we get a nice even crust at the bottom of our cheesecake. Then I just take a large mason jar to really just press it down and to get the shape of my cheesecake set, because this is a really important part, and you don't want to have a loose cheesecake going into the oven. So pack it down well, and then set an oven at 325 for 8 to 10 minutes. Drop that crust in there, and once it's done, pull it out and let it cool while you make your cheesecake filling. So for my cheesecake filling, I need 4 8-ounce sticks of cream cheese, and I'm going to blend those down until they're pretty smooth. You can work this, you can spend some time with it, because you do want to make sure it's smooth, but if it's room temperature, you're good to go, which it should be. Then you're going to take 1 cup of sour cream. It gives it a nice little zest, and then you're going to make sure you smoothly mix that in as well, and then you're going to add 1 cup of sugar as well. And once you get those mixed in, you want to take your 4 room temperature eggs. I always drop one. All right, you want to crack your 4 room temperature eggs, and then I mix them before adding them to the cheesecake filling. And I do this because you could add them one by one to your cheesecake, but that puts so much air into your cheesecake, and you have these air bubbles and cracks, and you just don't want that. So I fold them in after I already beat them, and then you just lightly fold them into the cake. Don't overwork your cheesecake filling. And then add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and just lightly fold that in. You see, not much time spent, and I am literally done. All right, don't overwork it. And then you want to get your cheesecake batter prepared. So I wrap my spring pan that is now cool into 2 sheets of aluminum foil into a baking dish, and then I'm just going to put my cheesecake filling in, make sure that I get everything. You really don't want to miss any of this cheesecake filling, so I really scrape it all. And then I just have a pot on the stove with some hot water, and I'm going to pour that hot water into the baking sheet just to make sure I'm making a nice little shallow pool for my cheesecake. And then I'm going to slide the cheesecake in the oven for 1 hour on 325. And then after an hour, I'm going to turn that heat off and crack the door for another hour to make sure that the cheesecake's cool. And when the cheesecake is cool, I pull it out and I take it to the cooling rack. And then once I take it to the cooling rack, unwrap it from the foil, and then allow it to sit there for 30 minutes to an hour. I mean, just look at how beautiful that cheesecake is. And we're almost there, y'all. You wrap it in saran wrap, all right? And then once you get it wrapped in saran wrap, you want to wrap it for 5 to 6 hours, or you can wrap it overnight and put it in that fridge so that it's nice and chilled. And once you got a beautiful chilled cheesecake, take it out of the fridge, and we're going to unwrap it. And you unwrap that cheesecake, and look at it. You get the edges, get the butter knife just to make sure you work it out. And look at that beautiful cheesecake, and you give it a nice little cut, because just look at the look on my face. I'm waiting, sitting on the edge of my seat to taste this. But this cheesecake is so simple, and I know that your loved ones will love it. It is creamy, decadent, it's simple, and everyone can make it, and I know it will be a favorite in your household. So make sure that you stick around, family. Give us a follow. And this is the cheesecake. Did somebody order?